No, I'm outside right now. I'm undefeated tonight. 2-0. 3, really. Because when niggas see me, they fucking just pulled off. Don't drive off when y'all see me outside. I'm outside right now, nigga. I'm outside right now.
Working on a weekend like usual. Way off in the deep end like usual. Niggas swear they passed us, they doing too much. Haven't done my taxes, I'm too turned up. Virgil got a paddock on my wrist going nuts. Niggas caught me slipping once, okay, so what? Someone hit your block up, I tell you if it was us. Man, a house in Rosewood, this shit too plush. Bitch, this is fame, not clout. I don't even know what that's about, watch your mouth. Baby got an ego twice the size of the crib. I can never tell a shit, it is what it is.
Yeah, it ain't safe outside right now. Don't beat no cars up when you see a nigga sleeping. I'm outside right now.
What's up, fight fans? It's your man 3K the Boss, a.k.a. Mr. Two Hands Up. You already know what it is. Welcome back to another episode of Reaper Gang Radio. We got another article by Boxing Scene on behalf of Oscar Valdez. And he states that the fact that I was called a cheater broke my heart, and it broke me down.
Emotional, damn it! Bruh.
So we're really doing this now? We're really doing this? Well, fuck it. I guess we're really doing this, Reaper Gang. Let's go ahead and get into the article, and then I'll give you guys my opinion. Let's get it, go. Sample collectors from the Voluntary Anti-Doping Association have visited Oscar Valdez 11 times since he's left the ring of September 10th at Casino del Sol in Tucson, Arizona. They first visited the unbeaten WBC super featherweight champion in his locker room following his 12-round unanimous decision defeat of previously undefeated Brazilian contender Robson Conceição. Then Vada arrived when he was sleeping on a Sunday morning, again when he was having dinner with his family, another time when he was playing with his kids. Valdez admits those random visits at his home for blood and urine, sometimes samples of both, became annoying. It is a small price to pay, according to the Nogales, Mexico native, to provide evidence through the remainder of his career that he is a clean fighter.
How dare you?
I've agreed. Because when you've got nothing to hide, I shouldn't be worried, right? Valdez told Boxing Scene, I always put in my contracts, I want the VADA testing because I'm trying to protect myself from the other fighter. It didn't make sense that I would put in my contract that I want the VADA test just for me to start taking stuff. It wouldn't make sense for me to try and take anything. As far as performance-enhancing drugs, if I'm the one putting the contracts that I want VADA testing, the 31-year-old Valdez realizes, of course, that he has plenty of skeptics in advance of his showdown with SHAKUR Stevenson on April 30th in Las Vegas. Because Valdez tested positive for phentermine prior to his title defense against Conceição. Phentermine is a stimulant banned by VADA, both in and out competition, and was detected in Valdez's A and his B samples, submitted August 13, 4 weeks before encountering Conceição.
ourselves, I am Hans.
And I'm Franz.
And we want to pump you up.
And the fact that I was called a cheater broke my heart, broke me down. I was a kid once who looked up to all these great fighters. And when I would hear stories about fighters using banned substances, PEDs, it would change my mind completely about fighters. So the fact that it was happening to me, that they were saying I was cheating in the sport of boxing, which I would never do, it brought me down. I really lost focus because I worked so hard my whole career, and to be criticized for the one thing which shouldn't be considered a banned substance, it just brought me down. Valdez became collateral damage to some degree because disparate requirements from VADA and the World Anti-Doping Agency helped him go through with the Conceição bout. Despite that, he violated with the VADA protocol. The Paskayaki Papi himself and the Paskayaki Tribe Athletic Commission, which regulated the Valdez Conceição card, approved Valdez license application because all state and tribal commissions in the United States are affiliated with the Association of Boxing Commissions, adhere to WADA standards. WADA permits phentermine out of competition, as long as it isn't detected after 11:59 p.m. local time the day before the event. If people were to look at the details or to educate themselves to what this really was, they would realize, oh, it's not a banned substance, Valdez said. It's something that actually is helping me in any way. It's not a performance enhancing drug. It is what I'm trying to say. It's more of a diuretic. The only difference was this banned substance was, if this banned substance would have come up 24 hours before the weigh-in, it would have been positive for the WADA.
Man, this is some bullshit!
Because it was clearly 3 weeks away from the weigh-in. So it was clearly a misunderstanding or clearly a mistake. That doesn't help me in any way to becoming a stronger fighter or hitting harder or just making me a better fighter at all. So the fact that the people don't educate themselves to see what the substance really was, it's really a bummer. And it really sucked because, like I've said before, I've always been a clean fighter and I've always hated fighters who actually try to cheat. I'm old school, I'm old fashioned, just work hard, do what you've got to do in the gym, and you win the fights. And that's the way I still am to this day. So if that stays for the rest of my life, well, that sucks, because I've always been a clean fighter.
This is all wrong.
Stevenson is among those who doesn't believe Valdez's version of what transpired during his training camp. While he prepared to face Conceição, this is why the unbeaten WBO Junior Lightweight Champions team pushed for the most advanced VADA testing possible prior to the 12-round, 130-pound title unification fight, which ESPN will televise next month from the MGM Grand Garden Arena. By the way, I can't wait. He got caught cheating, so he just got to deal with everything that come with it, Stevenson said. VADA about to make sure that they test him a lot more. We're just trying to make sure he don't cheat or nothing like that. Stevenson, 17-0 with 9 KOs, recalled VADA testing him 3 times while he was training for the fight against Jamel Herring, 23-3 with 11 KOs, whom Stevenson stopped in the 10th round October 23rd at State Farm Arena in Atlanta to become a 2-weight world champion. The 2016 Olympic silver gold medalist from Newark, New Jersey expects VADA to test him more than that while he trains in Las Vegas for his fight versus Valdez, 30-0, 23 KOs, who was training in San Diego. As a fighter, you gotta understand, we're going in there and we're putting our lives on the line, Stevenson said. You know people have died in the ring, all types of stuff. At the end of the day, we're just making sure everything checks out. Make sure everything is good. I don't want to be in there fighting with no cheater.
Ourselves, I am Hans. I'm Franz. And we want to pump you up.
Okay, fight fans, now here's the deal. All of this heartbroken and all of this talk about, it really affected him because he's not a cheater, blase, blah. All of that shit is bullshit to me. You want to know what's bullshit to me? Because you tested dirty for phentermine on your A and your B sample, and this is when you were coming up in weight, and this when you were facing a world champion who was supposed to be a straight-up killer at the 130-pound division. You had amazing power in that fight. You looked completely unstoppable in that fight. And hey, man, congratulations to you on a sensational victory. But that sensational victory will forever be tarnished by the fact that your A and B samples were dirty. And you can sit up here and try to dress it up by having 24 hours based on WADA to have phentermine out of your system before and after the bouts. But here's the deal. You didn't sign up for WADA. You signed up for VADA. And the fact that you will try to sit up here and justify it by simply saying that because WADA and their protocol, by their rules and their standards, say that you can have phentermine in your system for as long as it's 24 hours before the fight and no longer, and 24 hours after the fight, then you're perfectly okay. Doesn't make it okay in the world of VADA. That would be like me going to my piss test and I pop dirty, you know what I'm saying? But I'm like, well, shit, I didn't smoke, pop dirty for crack or some shit like that. And I'm just like, well, I smoked that crack a week ago. I've been clean today. So it shouldn't even count.
How dare you?
It doesn't work like that.
No, sir!
You pop dirty, you pop dirty. For the protocol in which you signed up for, contractually speaking, if you're so proud and you're so loud, boisterous, and proud about signing up for VADA and doing it the clean way and voluntarily doing so, then why aren't you in the know of what you're putting in your system? And I want to read something to you guys from Victor Conte about phentermine and what exactly he has to say about it.
A few moments later.
I personally have given athletes phentermine. I know what it does. It's very powerful. It is like methamphetamines, Victor Conte, the founder of Balco, told ESPN. Conte served time in prison after pleading guilty to conspiracy to distribute performance-enhancing drugs before founding Snack, a sports nutrition company. You know why it's a performance-enhancing drug? Because it's a central nervous stimulant, he added. It accelerates your heart rate. It gives you energy. It gives you endurance. It gives you stamina. It makes it easier to breathe. Your training time to exhaustion would be much longer. When fighters enroll in the VADA testing, they are notified that there is no distinction between in competition and out of competition. A list of banned substances, phentermine is on it, are sent to the fighter. So for me, Oscar Valdez can paint whatever type of picture he wants. He can play this little pity party he wants, but this comes from a professional, a guy who's been on both sides of it, on the legal aspects of it, dealing with performance-enhancing drugs, and doing time for it, and, having his own form of redemption, and, some atonement for his action by doing the right things in the sport today. Now, listening to Oscar Valdez, man, it's bullshit. And listen, man, I've always been told this. A person who is guilty, he responds guilty. He shows you in his actions that he's guilty. And I mean, look at his performances prior to fighting Miguel Berchelt, and look at his performances after fighting Miguel Berchelt. They were flat.
How dare you?
He's been a flat fighter. I mean, this is a dude who went from getting his jaw turned into a swing set fighting Scott Quigg to having extreme energy, extreme knockout power, and fighting Miguel Berchelt, and then trying to use WADA as a scapegoat because he was allowed to perform. Now, we already know how Mauricio Suleiman gets down when it comes to, Team Latino, and this isn't me being racist by any means. No, sir! Because we can look at the Alejandro Jimenez situation and what happened with Franchon Cruz, and this would tell us the same exact shit. Oscar Valdez here is not innocent in the slightest, and he would just go by his performances looking like shit. You would look at him when his A and B samples come back freaking dirty, and this motherfucker is highly energetic, has power all through the rounds, and is performing like the Terminator and moving up in weight against a guy who was a straight up killer. So I don't put all of this falsified energy into his power and what he is as a boxer, because he's always been average to me. This is no hate involved.
No, sir!
So the frustrations, the melancholy, the not being able to deal, the blaming the poor performances on the fact that your mind is on the fact that you pop dirty and the way people are perceiving you and your perceptions right now. Well, that perception that people have of you is the reality, because the reality of the fact is you pop dirty, and the reality of your career is this. It doesn't matter what you go on in life and do down the road when it comes to contact sports, because your reputation is already tarnished and you're known to be a dirty fighter. And then your lawyer comes out and says that your phentermine positive test is off the back of T. Well, if that was the case, why didn't you send that in Nevada instead of doing this whole dance around with the Pasquiaki tribe and their commission and going through their standards with VADA? Of course, we know why. You had to be the Pasquiaki Poppy himself, Oscar Valdez. But, I mean, it is what it is. The writing's on the wall. Y'all can believe this goofball if y'all want, but he's a dirty fighter. That's the fact of the matter. If you want to represent him because of tribalism, if you're really a fan of him, then you should be let down. You should be let down for all of the great fighters who came before him, because if he was going to try to model himself after those individuals, he's done a horrible job in moving in which way that he does. And I hate when people act oblivious to the fact that, and act like they don't know what they're like they don't know what they're not supposed to have in their urine. Shit is just like when I used to be on probation and shit, and I knew it took 30 days to get weed up out of my system, and I would try to guzzle a whole shitload of water to try to dilute the frickin' piss, and I would still pop dirty and then look my frickin' PO in the face and act like I didn't know how it got there. When you are solely responsible for everything that goes on in your body, and especially being an athletic specimen and a fighter in a contact sport, you should definitely do rigorous diligence in understanding and knowing what's in your body. So that right there is the reason why I call it bullshit. And that's why I say Oscar Valdez is full of shite. He's full of shit, cat and dog piss. So y'all believe it is what you want. Y'all take it for what you want. Hey, man, just another day in the crooked life of the WBC and Mauricio Suleiman and Oscar Valdez as well, working hand in hand. Because we already know VADA is the gold standing of testing. It always has been that way. And look, man, the writing is on the wall. But hey, let's see how you show up without those A and B samples coming back positive when it comes to April 30th, when you meet up with SHAKUR Stevenson, Paskiaki Poppy. As we always say at the end of the shit, it costs you nothing to pay a dirty A or B sample, no mind. But we just did on Reaper Gang Radio. Everybody have a wonderful day. It's the motherfucking boss.